Sandra all the time is here with a cold heart true. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama to call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth-telling, more problem-solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you. Good morning, Cayman. Happy Friday. The weekend is upon us. Yes, some of you get the weekend off. You're going to be out there having a lot of fun. Of course, safety first. Always want to encourage you guys to take safety seriously. The number of road accidents and stuff we have. So yes, safety first, folks. That's the thing that we definitely want to encourage. So let me just get some links going here for Instagram folks. We'll get them started. And then we will get the show on the road. We got a special guest for you guys today. So I'm glad to see class is in session and everybody looks fresh and looks like you guys are ready for the So Funny Child. Are like, yeah, Friday show be turn up, Auntie. I know. Some of you tell me, I really look forward to Friday. And I said, listen, you can't just save it for Fridays because you never know what you're going to miss the rest of the week. Every day is a good day here on the Mall Road. Yes, honey, chill. Wonderful show yesterday. For those of you who caught it, some real truth bombs from former Premier Wayne Panton. Boy, I like the truth, and I'm hearing a lot of truth from him. And now that he's not as reserved as he was previously, because, you know, when you're part of the government, there's things that you can't say, honey child. Even when y'all are a hot mess, there are things that you simply cannot say. But he's definitely being more forthright. Ay. And we got a special guest for you all today. So go tell your friends, honey child. Like the theme song says, tell your mama, tell your daddy, call everybody. Let me just grab this link for everybody in the news channel. Okay. All right, let's see here now. Let me see. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. Yes. Oh, Lordy. Yes, sir. All right, y'all hear my little fingers typing away there. Just give me a second. Gonna get everything all sorted out for y'all. Very good. I see my Facebook people. Good morning. Good morning, Instagram. How y'all doing, honey chill? Yeah. Y'all love the gram. Let me see here now. Hold on 1 second. It's a little bit different trying to send the Instagram link because it's not directly the video. That's how Instagram works, but I'll send you all the channel and then you should see up at the top that it is that we're live. I think it's a little bit different watching it on Instagram because it's not as big, right? But some of y'all like Instagram. Some of y'all only have Instagram from what I've realized. So, all right. So there's the morning link. Let me just send it to my Windsor Park crew, to the Washington Boulevard crew, and the Caymanians in Florida. They all like to keep in the sauce, although they may not necessarily be home. Yes. All right. Goody. Let's have a look. 200 people already on the live stream and growing by the second. Good morning, class. Miss Irvlin, front and center. Wee. Damaris joining us from NYC. Paul joining us from Bermuda. Happy Friday. Oh, Paul, I still need to post those videos that you sent me. I meant to do them on Monday, but oh my gosh, I've been so busy. But those were next level, boy. Oh my God. Couldn't believe it. But I'm going to still post them. Miss Bonnie, good morning. Robert G in the house says, have a great weekend, everybody. Patricia Blake, happy Friday. Thank you. Kurt Grizel, today's his birthday. Let's give the big man a happy birthday shout out. You see, if I could sing right about now, I would be belting out a happy birthday tune, but I reckon y'all don't want me to, Y'all don't want me to sing. I can take that note to the bank. I would be like this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Kurt Grizel. Happy birthday to you. Well, what can I say, folks? The good Lord couldn't bless me with every skill in the world. Good grief. Y'all like, oh my God, Sandy can't sing. I know. And the thing is, if I could sing, I would have been a tenor. But anywho, good morning, Miss Lucille. Hold on. Why can't I hear you? Hold on, honey child. Today's your birthday too? Oh, hold on. I'm trying to bring you in. I can't hear. Wait. I can't hear you. Hold on, honey child. I can't. Miss Lucille, let me call you back because I cannot hear you. Oh, Lord. What's going on, Hold on a second. Hold on, honey child. Let me see. Can we get her back? Let me see. There we go. Aha. Hello, Miss Lucille. I can hear you now, honey child.
So blessed. You see I'm early this morning, going nowhere.
What you say?
Going nowhere. A big one, 7 and a 9 beside it.
What?
Give God thanks.
79? Oh,
so
what a
blessed.
blessing.
I'm
Yes.
so blessed.
Yes.
I'm so blessed.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
all.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you, Jesus. And I'm going to live to see by the help of God many more.
Yes, that's right, girl. Name it and claim it. Happy 79th birthday. What a blessing.
Love you all.
Thank you. Wow, that is a blessing. Let me tell you something, honey child. It's a pleasure and a blessing to be able to get to age, because trust and believe, not everybody's going to make it, sadly. And so when you start to get to a particular age, you're ever so grateful for the opportunity. Mm-hmm. Morning, Stephen. Damien, Lynette is in the house. Johnny, hello, Johnny. Everton, Delcy, so good to see you. She says, I'm early today. Strong Wilt, Jennifer Martinez. Whoop, whoop. Cayman Brat being represented. Good morning, darling. How are you? And there's Miss Lucille. It is her 79th birthday. Everybody wish Miss Lucille a birthday in the comment section, please. Thank you. What a blessing. I tell you, 79. Good for you. Good morning, Miss Alba. Buenos dias. Okay, which day is Friday again? Let me think about my Spanish. I always have to go Dominguez, lunes. So sábado, viernes. Viernes is Friday. Viernes, sábado. See? Yeah, I think viernes is Friday. Oh, Lord. I always have to start at the beginning and try to work myself. Domingo, lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado. Yeah. Viernes. See? Okay. Happy Friday. Yes, I'm good. Emma, good morning. Barbara Smith joining us in the UK. Oh, it's a rainy day there. Well, Miss Barbara, if it's any consolation, we got quite a good bit of rain yesterday as well. What a hot mess, child. We were showered with some real blessings from above. The grass didn't mind. Jonathan said my screen just cracked. Child, you lucky that's all that happened. I'm just saying. Woo! Nobody gave it, like I said, the good Lord was like, girl, you're going to be doing so much talking. I don't want you to sing on top of it because you would have no vocal cords left. Woo! Can you learn how to sing? Like if you're tone deaf, is it possible? And I don't know that I'm tone deaf, but I just can't. I just don't have I can't carry tone. But mind you, if other people are singing, I can be like support vocals and you probably wouldn't necessarily mind it, Yeah. But definitely not in the lead. Everton said, if you need a producer, give me a call. This could be a hit. It would be a hit for all the wrong reasons. it would go viral because everybody's like, oh my God, that girl can't sing. Now, I've seen worse, to be fair. And you know what? I sound good in the shower, though. So I feel like if the acoustics are right, we could make it happen. Live Happy said the word of the day is what? Vicky City. Who? All right, hold on. We got to look this one up. This is definitely a dictionary.com moment. Let me have a look. Via who? Okay, V-I, hold on, V-I-C-C. What'd you put? V-I-C-I, S-S. Oh, I see it coming up already. Do you have it? Okay, all right, we got it. Let's see how they pronounce it. Where's the pronunciation button? So it means, it's a noun as in life. Synonyms: behavior, development, growth, lifestyle, personality, way of life. Let me see. We're trying to get it. Where's the pronunciation of it? Come on, dictionary.com. Get it together now. So they've used it in a sentence. There's but no matter what the vicissitudes of life, I'm still glad that I came of age in Boston and that it taught me what it did. All right, let's get a pronunciation though. Let's get a proper pronunciation. Let us see. All right. Vicissitudes. Yes. Now, class, in unison, everybody together. Ready? Vicissitudes. There we go. Thank you. Live happy. I don't know how often we might need to use that today, but if you can use it in a sentence, we'll give you a prize. Oh my gosh, I've got gift certificates from Popeyes and Domino's here somewhere. I gotta look at a pile, but I do have them. I collected them. So let's give out some gift certificates today. Darwin, good morning. Lisette, morning. Viernes, sí. Listen, I could have been completely fluent in Spanish, but I think I needed to do an immersion course overseas, like go to Costa Rica. I want to go to Costa Rica for like 6 months to a year. Child, Auntie would be hablando español. Sí. All right, Andrew, good morning. Blessings to you. Diamond Princess is in the house. Wee, yes. Jonathan having a good laugh. Oh, thank you, Miss Anne. Put on the lipstick this morning, honey child. Yes, Jonathan, you have to know your strengths and weaknesses because that ain't it. You won't catch me in a choir. I'm always I love music and I love people who can sing for their vocal talent. And I love the folk singers, the Cayman folk singers. Oh my gosh, I could listen to them all day. There's just a rhythm about folk music that is just amazing. I love blues and rhythm and oh my God, everything. Miss Joyce Ann, good morning. Darlene McKenzie's in the house. Dee Dee says good morning, blessed Friday. Mellow Fellow says good morning, Sandy. Your singing sounds like Laura Trump. Who the hell is Laura Trump? God knows you couldn't be worse than the music she puts out. Who is she? So what is the word? So the word is vicissitudes. And basically it means the quality or state of being changeable. So it's you can interchange it with the word mutable, a favorable or unfavorable event or situation that occurs by chance, a fluctuation of state or condition, a difficulty or hardship usually beyond one's control. So you can use it in a couple of different ways. So you could say, for example, the vicissitudes of life strike us all. Yes. Y'all soon start sound like Auntie Julie, except we can use the correct word in the correct way, hopefully. All right, barefoot got rich singing out of tune, says somebody. Oh, really? Oh, Lord, have mercy. Well, there's always a second career. Come, Miss Stacy, breakfast time. All right, here we go. Oh, shoot. I just had myself muted. I was saying, praise the Lord for this beautiful breakfast. Hallelujah. We got fresh and crispy breadfruit. Am I still in the radio? I hope the radio didn't trip out. Beautiful and sweet plantain. Sausages over on this side of the plate. Now, I don't eat breakfast every day, but when I do, we gotta eat in good fashion. Yes, honey, chow. It's Friday, and we need a little bit of extra energy today. Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, she married to one of his sons. Oh, and she can't sing? I figured the radio would trip out. All right, give me a second. Hold on, honey, chow. Let's get it tripped right back in. Hold on.
People talking. What are they talking about? This world's gone crazy, and I'm trying to find a way out. Nobody knows where we're going, or if we're going at all. Cares if we stand, if we have nowhere to fall. It's a singing symphony, playing as the ship goes down.
All right, folks, listen to that sweet symphony playing as the ship goes down. Yes, sir. We're back, honey chow. Happy Friday. Sorry, I muted myself just to, I heard Stacy knocking. And that was supposed to be temporarily muting myself. And then I forgot to unpress the button. Don't worry, we're back. Okay. This person says so much for that 50 by 50. Well, 50 was last year. It would have had to have been 51 by 51. Lord have mercy. All right. Yes. Good morning. I don't like you sometimes. You're making me hungry watching your show. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Yes, honey chow. Well, what can I tell you? Except the vicissitudes of life will mean some days I have breakfast and some days I don't. Take that. All right, don't y'all worry. As I'm eating this delicious, I think this is one of them yellow hearts that y'all be going on and on about. As I'm eating my delicious breadfruit this morning, I'll be thinking of all of you. You can believe it. We are so fortunate to have such good food in the Caribbean. All right, Miss Angeline says, good morning, Mile Road team, and listening. Miss Sandra, I'd like to donate a one-night stay at the Alexandra in Cayman Brac as I won, but I'm unable to make use of it. Therefore, I ask you to gift it as you choose or wish to. It's valid until November 2020. Aw, that's so sweet of you. Thank you. Speaking of gifting, the other day I went to, when I was in West Bay, covering the signing of that petition. You know, they're trying to stop another building from going into their beautiful district. Oh, my Lord. West Bay has changed so much. You know, I used to go to the four-way stop every day. I had my little business there. And oh my God, when I go west now, it looks like every free parcel of land is a building, condos going up. I cannot believe what's going on in West Bay. It's crazy. It's a lot of construction in that district. Anyway, I went to the library to cover this news story, and I ran into Mr. Farrington, the devil himself, you guys know, from hell. And he wanted to give me money. Now, I don't know why when people see me, they want to give me money. He's like, here. He gave me $100. I'm like, Mr. Farrington, what is this for? I certainly don't need it, And so he insisted. So I said, all right, I'm going to re-gift it by way of, you guys know I like to buy Foster's gift cards and give out to people in need. So I will do that this month. I'm going to use that $100. I think I just threw it in my handbag. It should still be at the bottom of the bag because of my recording bag. Because listen, if I don't need something, I am not a person who likes to take stuff from people. Trust me. Nope. So I'll put that in the kitty. And thank you, because there's some of you who will donate cards to my, I was thinking about setting up a nonprofit, but I don't have the time. It's a time commitment. But anyway, I'll just give people cards. So thank you to Mr. Farrington for that. I really, really appreciate it. And there are other people who want to give me money all the time. I won't call names on this one, but this person is this person's a millionaire. And the other day they saw me and they said, Sandy, I want to give you some money for all the great work that you're doing. I'm like, why? I'm like, God knows I don't need it. You can buy advertising, I suppose, if you have a business. But you guys are so sweet. Lanny, good morning. Says, Sandy, if it will not stop, imagine how much more Mount Trashmore there'll be in Cayman will be in, what's GBOR? Oh, Lanny says, give it to you. What a hot mess. Blessed is he who has his own, honey child, words of wisdom. Because the vicissitudes of life mean sometimes you have it and sometimes you don't. So when you have it, don't take. Give to other people who don't have it, honey child. The G Book of Records. Oh, the Guinness Book of Records? Okay. All right. Marshall says, take the money and send it to me. I'm here to receive it. Good Lord. All right, you guys ready? We got our special guest here waiting. Somebody said, throw up a birthday greeting to Sir Alden from his constituents who haven't seen or heard from him. Y'all are so, listen. Yeah. Can y'all please behave? It's Friday, so, I'm just like, what? No. You guys are going to think I'm making this up. I'm going to show you the message because I totally am reading this message live going, happy birthday to Sir Al. And then it hits me on what y'all are really saying this morning. Good Lord. Good morning, Mr. George. How you doing?
Good morning, Miss Sandy. You look like what? A garden. No need for no other roses than you.
Oh my
you
Lord.
You are so beautiful this morning.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Ma'am.
I think it's the top because somebody else said, that top is amazing.
Yes, ma'am. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Just called in today because I'm from the old school now. You reminded me that a few weeks ago when you mixed me up with one other guy named Dean. But anyhow, I want to say, in my age, in my capacity, and I was a law-abiding citizen all of my life, working the courts, I want to congratulate, I think her name is Judge Hernandez, for that case yesterday. I want to pick her up. I wish that I could meet her and shake her hand. A job well done, because I was following that case, and it seemed like these people wanted to tell her the law in Cayman and try to overrule her. And it's not that's not only the first case in Cayman, that's the first case that come to light. But it's been more cases going on here, going through the departments, the work, the immigration departments and whatnot. But I want to congratulate her that the government now should take that boat that they confiscated, because that's what I used to do in the courthouse. So when I used to auction off things for the government, for the lawyers and what have you.
Yes, sir.
I got bailiff. That's what I used to do. But what they need to do now, in case the government spending so much money to keep them here, the government should sell that boat.
Oh, don't worry.
We're
getting all the details on that. There's more to that. Don't worry. That's soon come.
Should sell that boat.
Yep, soon come.
And take that money.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. Don't worry. She's on top of it.
Pay to keep them here or send them off the island to put them, but make them put in time first in prison here first.
Yeah.
Because that was they humiliated those poor 2 men, I think it was. And the part with that, the wife knew what was going on.
We ain't get into it, Mr. George. You're letting all the information out before we're ready. We'll come into the story.
Yeah, because I upset.
I know. But we have Minister Turner who's here. Let's speak with her.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get
good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
We're about to put we're about to pull her in. We're about to pull she can't hear you yet. We're about to pull her into the studio. Yeah.
Okay, well,
she might be able to hear you, but she can't respond. So soon come.
Okay, well, let her know.
Keep listening, honey.
I asked for her, and I need to speak with her.
Okay.
She know that I even wrote a song for her campaign when she was campaigning. So.
All right. She's got the message. Don't worry. Thank you, darling.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So all of it's coming. Yes. So this person says, throw up a birthday greeting to Sir Alden from his constituents who haven't seen or heard from him in 4 years. He may have forgotten us, but we remember how we have been treated. Lord Jesus. Hallelujah. Good morning. Let's go ahead and bring the minister in, Minister Sabrina Turner, MP for Prospect. Good morning, Minister.
Good morning, Sandra. Good morning to all your
what a beautiful top you're wearing. Today looks like it's the day of flowers.
It's Friday.
Yes, after the rain, here comes the flowers. So of course you heard that's Mr. George. Give him a call, have your office reach out to him. He says that he needs to speak with you. So yes, Minister, thank you so much for joining us. So you've been in the news lately, and I must say in the past almost 4 years now, we're coming up in 4 years of your first term in office. You know, you've relatively remained under the line of controversy, you know, but I guess nobody gets spared in the world of politics. So I know that you're going to be here this morning to talk about this personal loan between you and former Premier Wayne Panton. So can you give us a background? You know, you can say as much or as little as you want, because we do appreciate that it is a personal loan. But whatever you feel that the people need to know about the situation by way of background. And then we want to address the fact that Ezra Miller has decided, after all these years of being so incredibly silent, that he finally has something to say on something pressing in this country. I'm shocked that this is it, but there you have it. So we'll address that as well. So do tell us what's this all about? What's going on?
Well, really and truly, Sandra, thank you again for having me on here this morning. And what I can set the tone in saying, no one throws stone at an empty mango tree. So it's obvious that this is some sort of political mischief. But when it has gotten to the point of where you're actually coming after my morals, my integrity, my reputation, and there is everything that I have ever done since entering the political arena has been above board, from the way I make decisions to the way I defend the people, the way I show up to work, the way I perform my duties within my constitutional remit speaks of who I am. Now, what has been placed in the public's domain is a legal document bearing my name, bearing the name of my husband and my temporary bridge facilitator, Gurney Wayne Panton, to which I am grateful for. Now, what has come out of this is definitely backfiring because they didn't get what they obviously, whoever's behind this political mischief, um, my life is an open book. This position opens everyone up to be above board and to remain above board. I have not shunned from my responsibility from day one when it came to being transparent with what I've acquired before I got into elected office. And I continue to file my filings. The first time I did my filings was manual, and then they went to electronic. And every year, once submitted, I have called the department who have confirmed to me that my filings have been submitted. I have not gotten any response to say that I've done anything else outside law. Now, this temporary facility is clear. It is straightforward that it is a loan, not a gift. I have not gained anything from it. The record has shown from during the campaign that I was a resident. I'm living in Patrick's Island, and I continue to live in Patrick's Island. But what they're trying to spin is unfortunate, and it speaks volumes of where we're going. This is nothing short of trying to get me, to frustrate me, to distract me, to say I am not going to defend my political seat come 2025, and to just discredit who I am. The people of Prospect will have their democratic say whenever the next election is called, and I will respect their decision. But at the end of the day, to say that this is going to be used against me, which is my personal, private business that has been disclosed in accordance to law, to judge me as to whether or not I'm worthy of remaining in this political seat, that's up to the people of Prospect. But what needs to be out in the public's domain is not what people assume of me. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but that is not who I am. And for those genuine people who have ever interacted with me, how I've represented the people of Prospect when it comes to holding my word for them, where reputation and representing them is concerned, showing up for work, showing up and being available to the people, that is where it needs to be valid on in whether or not my continuity in this role is warranted or not. This loan is just exactly what it is. It is a temporary thing. People can question whether or not I am able to manage my finances. I've run and operated my own business for 15 years. And it has been stated on your show that I have been told, and of course, I did not log on to your show in real time, but when I go back in the nights and I recap, people have said, and they have been very vocal from neighbors straight down, for the volume of calls and people telling me to hold my head up. I've done nothing wrong. It is obvious what is being done to me. It's outright assassination on my reputation, and that's up, for people's opinion. But to say that there's anything to hide, there is absolutely nothing to hide. Mr. Pantron and myself are people of reputable character. I come from a very good background. You never knew of the Sims. You never knew of Sabrina Turner on this public forum, going out there just bragging. You never see me posting how I live. And this whole thing about Caymanians not being able to make it in society and all of that sort of stuff. I guess people didn't, because I'm not one of those that brag and have my life as an open book on Facebook. Maybe some are a bit shocked that I was living in Patrick's Island and that a house of the value in which is obviously making headlines is somewhere that I live. It's sad that we as a Caymanian helping another Caymanian have to come to this low to try and tarnish someone's integrity and character. But if that's the society that we want to actually now adapt, we are down a slippery slope. But I will not let this distract me. I will not let it make me bow out of this race. That is up for the people of Prospect to do in the upcoming election, Sandra. I felt that I had to come.
Yes, I'm getting a lot of messages now where people are saying that, they don't even feel like you needed to do this, that Mr. Panton came on and he covered it. Somebody just said Wayne Panton covered this and he did a good job doing so. I think the issue is although he's covered it, the compass,
Yeah.
bless their little
They
heart.
keep at it. Yes, they keep at it. They're trying to make news, and I have deliberately not given
Yeah.
them the time of day because of where they're trying to spin it. They don't stop. It is
Yes.
obvious that this is a competition now with who can get the likes. And if that is where media is going in our society now, who
Mhm.
gets the most likes, what dirt that they can hash it on people, who subscribes to what. I
Mhm.
felt I had to do this because at the end of the day, I am front facing. I have always been a front facing person, but for people to put and their own spin on who I am, because obviously one media house didn't get what they wanted out of a non-story, that's pretty sad, and it speaks
Mhm.
volumes of what lengths people will go to in order to try and discredit persons, and this is by extension even your family.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, Rajma, bless her little heart, she did her story. And of course, listen, this is media. And the pressure is on for these persons, not just to get likes, but to keep their jobs. I mean, my God, if we don't see that her job is on the line, her show has been canceled. I don't think anybody ever noticed that. But, they've canceled her show because nobody was listening and it didn't matter who she had on as a guest. People are just completely disengaged with her. Even from COVID, nobody wanted to hear when Rajma stood up and asked questions. I'm not trying to be mean to Rajma. I'm just laying things out in terms of the reality of media in the space in which we work. So she's got to keep her job. So the stories that she can get that does get more traction, maybe the new publisher at the Compass is minded to keep her on if he feels like, oh, she's got the political landscape covered and she is getting, the hard hitting stories. This isn't a hard hitting story. This is a story where political troublemakers have tried to take a situation and make it something that it isn't. Now, I have said from day one, and Sabrina, you will know, Minister Turner, you will know this, that I have said, always get in front of this,
Yes,
always
you
address
have,
things like
you
this.
have,
And from
you
earlier
have.
in the week, I said, come on in and address it, because knowing that it's political mischief, it's not going to
It
just
is
go away. It's
plus
not going
plus.
to just stop. They're going to
Yes.
continue. And I think you probably weren't expecting that was going to happen. And so
No,
this
no, no.
morning,
I could be very honest with you, Sandra.
Mhm.
The political mischief not only exists internally and actually agitated externally, it
Mhm.
just goes to show that there are no friends in this game. You can't
Absolutely.
trust anybody. You are
Mhm.
constantly over your shoulder. But, it speaks volumes of who we are when we have to sit around a table and work collectively together to bring outcomes for the betterment of our people. Now, look at all the issues that we have going on. I mean, it's clear to see that everything with this transaction has been done above board. And to know that persons so eager to be reelected would
Mhm.
choose me again, the Lord
Mhm.
only chooses their strongest fighters to take
Mhm.
on certain battles. And I know it is just who I am. I'm not guilty of anything
Mhm.
in regards to how you handle people's perception of you, where this has gone, that I can tell you that it did not impact me mentally. But how can this could have may have affected somebody else totally differently. We talk about mental health challenges in our society, Sandra.
Mhm.
When you
Mhm.
look at the cyber bullying that's going on, not everybody is cut out for this job. You
Yes,
have to grow a thick skin. But you see, when
very
your
quickly.
conscience sets you free, I can walk into any space and
Mhm.
hold my head up high.
Mhm.
Obviously, my life is an open book. They have done what is a forensic audit on me that has
Mhm.
borne no fruit. Can some say the same thing?
Mm.
But that
Hold on,
is
honey child.
for,
Hold on one second.
Cut.
All right. I dare say
but
many cannot.
I have to work with an
Mhm.
elected group of individuals because
Mhm.
that is what I have been tasked to do. We have
Yeah.
all been duly elected. It's a democratic process.
Mhm.
I sit in cabinet at the
Mhm.
pleasure of the premier and supported by the governor. And I will not make anybody
Mhm.
silence me, bully me, or think that they can try this failed attempt to make me say I'm not going to defend my seat in the constituency of Prospect.
Mhm.
If they
Yeah.
want to come with it, I mean, that is up for the people. But people who have worked with me before I got elected, I have been on the National Security Council from as far back as 2017. That takes trust. I have been a reputable business person. I have been on Radio Cayman hosting my show, giving small businesses, advice in that outlet. Sandra, I've even interviewed you.
Yes, a couple times.
So to say that, there's perception with what is transpired, the facts is the facts, and we have done everything above board. And yes, I could have refrained from coming on any show, but when you look at some of the commentary and when you look at who is behind some of these media houses, you have to wonder, what is their political agenda when they have been quiet? When they have been quiet, and you're going to use Sabrina's Turner in a legal transaction to try and get your moment of fame, that speaks volumes.
I mean, I hate to ask, but where has Ezard been in the last 4 years? I mean, this is the one thing that has transpired in 4 years that got him talking. Like, I'm a little bit surprised by this. I'm like, okay,
no, but I have to work. I have demonstrated that I'm able to work around my colleagues at the cabinet table and keep it real, keep it focused on the issues at hand. We are bounded by collective responsibility. And, I have been open and honest from day one, and I continue to do that. Now, to say that, this transaction agreement means that I was muzzled, that I was controlled by Mr. Panton, that is outright a lie, because anybody know me, I am not for sale and I cannot be bought, which I feel is what's ticking a lot of people off.
1 second, caller. Yeah. And the other question,
a lot of people off.
Yeah, the other question here, ministers, let's make sure the timing of this is correct, because Mr. Ezard Miller is trying to claim that this is some sort of campaign. He's saying he's been advocating for transparency in campaign financing. This isn't campaign financing, so I don't even know what he's talking about.
No, that's totally not campaign financing. For him to jump on this with the headline of that narrative, really? Maybe an indirect campaign platform for himself, but not at Sabrina's expense. I'm sorry.
Yes. Caller, good morning.
Good morning. I am actually calling from overseas. Minister, I want to let you know, Lisa Prendergast supports you 100%. And if we go back, when you gonna start throwing stones, what we people, all of them politicians, past and present, need to do is start looking down what they have done. When you live in glass houses, be careful of the skeletons you want to dig up, because there are many people that can talk, and this is what they're not doing. This is what they're not doing. This young lady is young. She's only come in here for the last 3.5 years. There are many of them that have sat there and had their fill of 30-odd years that have done some serious damage to my country, and they're not being held accountable for the atrocities they have committed. You hear what I'm telling you? So I support this young lady. I support her, Catherine, and Andre, because they could never undo the last 40, 50 years of the stuff that has happened to our Caymanian people. And when you're throwing stones, please, let's go down what you have done. Stop throwing stones. Go back to the bills that you owe. Go back to the people you have never paid. Go back to the things that you do. Each and every one of them that is starting this crap, before they start throwing stones on young people and young decent women like Sabrina. Good morning. This is Lisa Prendergast. Have a great day, ladies. And
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you. Lisa taking the time. She said she's overseas, but she took the time to call in this morning. It is really shocking, because as Lisa and everybody else, even Mr. Panton yesterday was saying that, listen, at the end of the day, folks, the ones who, are behind this, the only person who's publicly been able to put a name to it, I guess, is Mr. Mario Rankin. And God knows, when it comes to fiscal management, not borrowing money from people, he should never be in that arena and have anything to say about anybody else, because he just doesn't have the track record, right? So he's allowing himself to be politically used by whoever to try to get this, contrived question about ethics out there. Mr. Ezard goes on talking about campaign financing. What Ezard Miller needs to say, as someone who's been in the political arena for years, is that there are people who would have donated to his campaign as well as others, and all of that is shrouded in secrecy. You guys have no clue who those individuals are that financially back candidates. And I'm not telling you or asking you this as a question. I'm telling you as a matter of fact.
It is quite complex arena, to be honest with you, Sandra. I got elected into political office at the first time in 2021. I came out as an independent. I've remained an independent. And from all accounts and purposes, all discussions that I'm having right now, people are encouraging me to remain an independent for the very said reason. Yes, you have structure and all of that sort of stuff. I did not, and I do not have backers, persons who are financially backing me per se. I have done this out of pocket. CNB, credit union, are testaments to exactly how I've maintained all that I have actually done in the past 3 years when it comes to managing finances, keeping clean, and making sure that any sponsors that I've ever received for the works that I've done in the community as an elected MP to serve the people of Prospect, and by extension, I've helped persons all over this island when it comes to even the back to school camp. Family and dear friends, we have actually done some home cooked meals to keep the cost down, because based on the salary that you have, the expectations of your constituents, and you're competing, let's say, with others who may have persons who are financing them. That is how you're actually graded. And I am not going to do anything that I can't honestly fund, and it's coming from a place where I am not owned because of sponsorships. You have to be very careful. But what I see some are challenged with, based on the limited time of being in this role, keeping up with the realistic expectations of your constituents and whether or not a member of parliament can afford that. Sandra, it is very tempting to go far left if you're that desperate to remain in an elected seat.
Right.
But if you're going to compromise your ethical standards, some people have no moral compass. They will tell you what they feel you need to hear in order to get a vote. Sabrina was not elected on that steam. I did this clean. I came out to really make a difference around the table, and I have to work with the people that our other areas have elected to work with to bring the better for people's lives. But to say that I am going to question or to put myself to the level that I'm going to sell my soul, no, I would prefer to be voted out than for me to stoop that level. But this, again, is a lame attempt at trying to prove that Mr. Panton was buying me when that is not the case.
And let me tell you something. Let me just address that specifically. If Mr. Panton was buying you, he didn't get value for money. Because for $1.4 million, you were still voting against things that he was supporting, including the one with the pepper spray. You know, you didn't agree with him on that.
Correct. No, I didn't.
Which show that
Mr. Panton knows.
had a different opinion. You voted separately. So what kind of support was he getting? Like I said, he obviously didn't get value for money if that was a deal.
No, the relationship that I have with every one of them in there, and like I said, let me repeat, anyone knows who Sabrina is. They know that I'm a force to reckon with. And I'm not gonna tolerate foolishness. And Mr. Panton, no, respectfully, there have been times we've had some very candid conversation that I have actually, I felt like I was a mum, but I did it respectful. I didn't do it on the floor of Parliament to speak out or to be in a condescending way. It is just my input for being a part of his team. So no, I cannot be bought, and that is what's ticking a lot of people off. And I think I've said that about 3 times this morning.
Yes, let's take a few calls. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Minister. Good morning, Sandy. I'll try to be brief. Well, first of all, it's good, Minister, that you've come on. I know some people have thought, well, look, this is sufficiently explained and so forth, and I think they are right, because I watched the show yesterday with Mr. Panton. But I think it's good that you should come rather than look as if like you're trying to avoid to address it.
Yes.
But you see, the idea of perceived conflict. I read the article in the Compass, and I was looking for the beef. There was no beef in there. okay? Because it talked about perceived conflict. The idea of perceived conflict actually is much narrower than people might think. It's not everything that looks as if, these people might be connected, which is perceived conflict. If this loan had been maybe to a member of the opposition, perhaps there might have been an issue. I mean, like you've said yourself, in cabinet, you are bound by collective responsibility anyway. It's not supposed to be a problem. And I checked the standards in public life. By the way, I was involved in writing the standards in public life law. It has been amended a little bit since then. I don't claim to be an expert on everything, but in section 12, it says that the loans that you have to report are those loans which are not obtained from like a registered institution. So in other words, if you go to the bank and you get a loan, you are not supposed to declare them under the act. But since this one was obtained privately, it was required to be reported, and you reported it. So where is the problem? Okay, exactly. Now there was also, and the last point, I've been talking to some people in Cayman, they say, well, but did Mr. Panton have a trade and business license to be able to do that? Again, you see, that is a relevant point, but again, it doesn't show there was anything wrong. You can rent out an apartment, you don't need a TNB. You can lend money to a friend, to anybody, you don't need a TNB because you are not running it as a business. Correct. If you start running it as a business, then that becomes a problem. So at the end of the day, I think that this should go into the past. Mm-hmm. It was okay that they reported the story as a story, but the attempt to try and say there was something improper, I don't think that was fair on you, Minister. And I just thought that I might give you a word of support on that together with Mr. Panton.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Phone lines are hot this morning. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, birthday
Minister
girl.
Turner, a very good morning to my beautiful girl, Minister Turner.
Good morning.
Just stick a pin. Minister, this is her 79th birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
I want you to bear with me patiently. She might not remember who I am. She and my daughter was nursing assistant at Georgetown Hospital. Listen, I don't care. She's a born Caymanian. I might be a foreigner. I watched her grow. Her mother worked very hard to put her where she is. Moreover, I stood by her mother grave in tears when she was buried. And I really felt bad how people is doing her. She's a young Caymanian. Give her a chance. And I tell you all one thing. I am not going to be able to vote for her, but she will be like Usain Bolt. She's running again and she's going straight through number one. And who don't like what I say, all come for me. I don't care. She's a Caymanian born. Leave her alone. It's the first time. Give her a chance. My God. Don't worry. I'm going to call you by name. I know you, Sabrina.
Yeah.
God is fighting your battle, girl.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you, caller.
And I'll see you soon if God spare my life.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Happy birthday.
Right.
God bless.
Still telling it like it is in her birthday. Good morning, caller.
Hello. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, there.
Good morning, Minister.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
I said it yesterday. I'll just say it again right quickly. I think this is a non-issue. I'd like to turn the question to this. Will you please give the update now that we have an opportunity to speak to you on what is going on with Pontiana, ma'am, and also you please share with the general public how much money have been spent on that. What is basically turned into some of a boondoggle of the public monies. How much has been spent so far, and also please give the update on where we are with the operation actually beginning to function now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you want to take the other call, or you want to?
Oh gosh.
I know the question.
Yes, we have so many coming in. Good morning, caller. We got another caller.
Good morning. I just wanted to say this quickly to Minister Sabrina. I want to thank you for hiring so many Caymanians under you and PAC government in the Georgetown HSC hospital and all the renovations you're doing. it will take a couple of years for you to undo a lot of other stuff. But you're the first minister I see come in there that have hired so many Caymanians. There's still a few areas that can be improved, and of course it takes time to do these things. But I want to say you are the first young woman Caymanian minister that came in there and put some other young people in different areas. They're Caymanians. They're working in there, and I'm glad. And they're not just the paper Caymanians. Indigenous Caymanians, many from Georgetown that I've seen, porters and reception in different areas. And I want to say I'm proud of it. I'm also proud of Canada for putting a few of them on the ticket counter at Cayman Airways. So under PAC government, yes. I am saying I am so proud of all of you for doing that, because it took many years. And I don't want to call on the ministers because they all know him, but Mr. Scotland and even Mr. Anthony, I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of respect for the ministers that I've worked with, but this is the one that I've seen the most Caymanians, and that is Miss Sabrina Turner. I applaud you for it. And have a great morning, ladies.
Right,
take care
and bye-bye. All right.
Thank you. Kudos go out to my board of directors. Kudos go out to the board of directors. Let me tell you, it has not been an easy road. They have had to go in there, hit the pavement running, understand the scene, quite similar to me as a minister and understanding the landscape. But it's all about accountability, being comfortable in their role, understanding remit, and actually holding the senior management of HSA accountable. The CEO is accountable, or she has to report to the board of directors. She does not report to myself as the Minister of Health. So kudos go out to my board. I know it's almost love and hate because some people are allergic to accountability, but when we're seeing results, that I will not take all the credit for. They understand the purpose, they understand my vision and purpose, and they know the mandate and their responsibility. So congratulations publicly to the HSA Board of Directors for a job well done, because people are seeing the results of their hard work.
Yes. I mean, having said that, it would be remiss of me if I did not say that I do receive on a fairly regular basis some complaints that there is a particular individual in the HR department, that there have been a number of longstanding, both Caymanians and non-Caymanians that have left the HSA directly because of this person. So that is something that, from an investigative perspective, I am still very much looking into. I'm supposed to be getting a list because I'm told it's 17 people now since she has been there that have left, but we're working on that. And it's not the HR manager. Somebody just said it's the HR manager.
The board, like myself, do not get involved with hiring of persons. But of course, if the process is not followed correctly, that's where the board is tasked with making sure that the necessary policies and processes are in place to hold those persons, well, the CEO accountable, to then hold her senior management team accountable. So yes, I'm quite sure I'll bring this to their attention if they're not tuned in.
Yeah, I mean, it is an area of concern, but I must tell you that the CEO she's always been receptive to constructive comments. All right, Poinciana Point.
Poinciana, the latest update that I got, and we'll be doing an official public statement on that from my chief officer in collaboration with the deputy governor. Let me add some context to this whole process, because I think that it's unfortunate. Again, we're using mental health as a political topic. And when you check back how much people really campaigned on mental health, which tells me there is no space when it comes to our health, and especially mental health, where politics is concerned. That facility has been something that has been being constructed for 12 years, Sandra. The project was project managed by Public Works Department, the Ministry of Health and Wellness. It does not have control, and this is not by any means kicking the can down the road. I too want to get this project finished. What has happened, and the last inspections done, and it's currently on the way, is looking at the fire suppression system. From what I have been reliably informed by the civil service, and it's sad that throughout all of what is being thrown in the public's domain that I can't deliver, this is going to be my Waterloo for failing to deliver this facility when we will deliver the facility. You've never heard one word from the Public Works Department, who are the project managers. Not the minister, not the ministers, not the Ministry of Health. I say all of that to say this because when people understand the operational arm, and the responsibility and how far a minister can go. I have done everything in my ability to make sure that we get this done at pace. The last inspection that was done, there were issues with the electrical, some plumbing issue, and I think fire suppression. All 3 dates that I have been given to put into the public's domain were all subject to passing inspection. So of course they would say yes, because they're not expecting to fail their own inspection. It's managed by Public Works. And you would think a project managed by a government department, one thing could happen is that you can pass your own inspections. Where I went wrong is that those inspections were not carried out, or I delivered an expected date of getting certificate of occupancy and did not say subject to inspection. And when we realized that all of these little flaws and nuances were actually causing the problem for getting it past, all of it is inspection, I said I was not going to be prepared to take the liability of bringing vulnerable patients back into a facility that had not satisfactorily passed all inspections. I met with my chief officer, who then met with the DG. They had a meeting, and I am told that all the necessary, they have fast-tracked. Of course, it was slowed down by COVID. They had issues with getting materials and so forth. I have been told now that by the week of the 13th, which maybe by Tuesday, Wednesday, that all the necessary and final inspections, which was only the fire section, will be completed, and I will have a more definitive date as to when the facility would meet, and I would be able to obtain a certificate of occupancy and thereafter an operational date. We have done all the necessary background work to get our patients back from Jamaica. Again, that is a political mischief. And what I have found that since I have taken Ministry of Health 3 times, Ministry has sent a representative over to Jamaica to check the welfare of those patients. Upon those checks was when we realized that there were people over there over a decade that did not even have a valid travel document. So when you're going to use this as a political thing to gain favor for yourself, to say that we don't care and I need to get directions from persons who have been in the seat longer than me to bring our people home, if you really had so much care, you would know that we had Caymanians over there that didn't have any valid travel documents. That is all done right now under this administration. So to say that we don't care, I cannot bring these people back and put them into a facility that does not pass inspection. And I am proud to say that this facility will be delivered under my administration, and our people will come home. And I'm more than prepared to be able to work with my chief officer, along with the support of the deputy governor, to get a delivery date of this. But I can assure the people of the Cayman Islands that will be delivered. Just like how I told you I was going to deliver the pharmacy bill, I will deliver Ponciana Mental Health Facility. But we need to have the wider conversation about mental health in our Cayman Islands. This facility will not be the end all be all of mental health in the Cayman Islands, because that facility is not designed to just drive up with your people, drop them off, and here, you deal with them. So this will spark a wider conversation, but I hope that that answers the gentleman's question. In regards to the amount of monies that has been spent to date, I don't want to just arbitrarily throw numbers out there. I know that there's a number in the compass. I would much rather give a more wholesome response once I'm coming from an informed place, and I expect that update by at least Tuesday or Wednesday of next week to address the public as a whole.
Yes. I mean, I do wonder what people think the mental health facility. I think some people have some misgivings, and I mean, I don't know whose fault this is.
We're going to have to do a better job with the PR of that facility, to be honest, because the acute cases that we're seeing at the 11-bed section of the HSA is inadequate. It's insufficient. I have had conversations with the CEO. The board is aware. They need even a bigger hospital. We're talking about beds and all that sort of stuff, but let's keeping it under the mental health side. We know that the acute cases right now that we are seeing at HSA those cases would not be for the facility at High Rock. So we may need even like an interim space to deal with our mental health challenges here in the Cayman Islands. And that has thrown light onto a bigger conversation that we're going to have, because the facility that we have right now at HSA, you can almost look at that eventually, the bigger scheme of things, as being like the ICU of mental health cases. And then you need like a general ward section. And then you need then Ponciana before reintroducing back into society. So that facility has brought a wider discussion, and it has borne fruit that we need a bigger space at HSA, and we need an interim, another facility of some sort or space to deal with those persons that are not ready for Ponciana either. So there's a lot more to be done, to be honest, where mental health is concerned for all ages.
Yes, we do have a caller. Good morning, caller.
So, good morning again, Ms. Turner and Sandra.
Morning.
Ms. Turner, thank you very much for giving us an update on the subject matter. You know, I can appreciate and I can recognize, because I physically witnessed it myself, that this project has been going on for so long. A follow-up question to you, Mom. As there has been this issue of mechanical, electrical, and plumbing contractors not delivering what they were supposed to do in a timely manner and up to standard, which is obviously the story is that these are why the failures have happened. Will there be any accountability of those contractors made to pay for these delays in the actual opening of the facility itself as a result of their dereliction of duty as a professional within the contractual field? You know, I witnessed not only that, I also witnessed a whole lot of soil disappearing from that site from the very beginning. So there was some bandoloo business going on there as well, which surprises me that it was allowed to happen, because we are talking about a mental health facility which is based in creating gardens for people, and a large portion of the actual soil itself went off into the ether on trucks that never returned. You know, I asked that question back then, Mom. Long time before you were in power.
All right,
please answer that, Ms. Turner.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, within my remit, in all honesty, that is the operational arm. Like I said, the project has been project managed by PWD, where contractual obligations are concerned and holding people accountable. That will rest on the shoulders of our deputy governor, and who is in charge of public works. So to be honest, these concerns will be something, and I'm quite sure they will seek consult with the internal legal advisors as to how, if anything was outside of law or outside terms and conditions of that contract, it would be borne on the shoulders of the head of the project management team, and that their boss is Mr. Frans Vanderson. I would not have been privy to all of those, like I said, because that would fall directly under the operational arm, and that's not something that the Ministry of Health or the Minister of Health would even be aware of, because the project is under Public Works.
All right, very good. 936-2626. The phone lines are open, folks. Let's go ahead and read a few more comments. And then I do want to get to this case about the human trafficking. So, Minister, we're going to let you go about a few more minutes here. But morning, Johan. I see Johan arrived late in class. Jamila rolling her eyes, saying, "You're always showing up late." Giselle says, strategy of deflection is not useful in this political landscape. Morning to Cayman Kind. Marshall says, Ezra Miller came back from the dead with this story. Shameful. Crabs in the bucket, says Giselle. Moya says, keep up the good work. You've been one of the few ministers who does show up to work and is accessible to the people in your constituency. Hot mess. Jamila says, this is getting stale now. Talking about this loan, we have other issues to worry about. Miss Olive says, such an intelligent woman. Patricia says, one of the best MPs. Love her. Olive says, keep your head high. Dee Dee says, Minister Turner, your personal transaction, which was not hidden at all, This does not render you unworthy to run an upcoming election. Keep strong and go for it. As you're a woman of integrity, God bless you always. Johnny, good morning, Johnny, says the compass is a dead horse. Tabloid garbage. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Cassius says, the sad reality is that Minister Turner has to waste time and address this because too many of our people are too damn fool and they are unable to analyze anything and make sense of it. Howard said he had his popcorn ready. Kenny says, wishing everyone a fantastic day. Birthday greetings going out to Miss Olive again and Kurt Grizel this morning. Let me see what other comments here. Juanita, good morning, Miss Juanita. Says, good morning, Sandy. This is where it is. Bobo, typical Caymanians, boy, Ms. Turner. Don't stop what you're doing. Continue with the good work. Mr. Panton, I'm in need of a home. Soon to be on the streets with my slow learning disability. Aw, child, God bless you both. Happy Friday. No. And, you know, Miss Juanita, the special needs community, again, really being neglected in so many ways. Jonathan, I think we got that question answered. Shamar says, Sabrina, you're the best thing that has happened to Prospect. Now watch no face. You going right back through. Caymankind doing a big applause. Just Me 101 applauding as well. Sophia, I think that was in relation to the HSA matter. Johan says Cayman needs more MPs and ministers that talk straight on all issues the way Minister Sabrina Turner has always done. Urban Trends says if we're going to talk about the mental health traffic in the Eastern Districts really need to be addressed ASAP, as it is really affecting families and their children. Caymankind is asking, do you support the mental health daycare center? Mr. Ken does such a great job. I don't know. There's a daycare center? What is that? I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure. Iva says, my dear friend Sabrina, just sit back and drink your Milo and mind your own business. Sandra says, thank you, Miss Sabrina.
All out there. I love Milo.
Darlene says the horse already gone out of the gate. Maybe that soil sold by now, speaking to Jonathan. And I mean, I don't have any details on that, so I can't really speak to that. So Jonathan, get your sources together. Let's hear what's going on. JD Whitaker, good morning to you. Robert says, good morning, Sandy and Minister Turner. Happy Friday. Carrie, joining us from Cayman Brack, says, no Caymanian should go homeless. This is where we need to focus on. Somebody else, I can't remember who said that what Mr. Ezzard should do. Oh, yeah, Strong Will says Ezzard needs to take a seat and pay attention to his young wife. What a hot mess. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, honey child. How are you?
Good morning. Oh, gosh, what happened to your voice?
Coming down with flu. Good morning, Minister Turner.
Good morning.
I did not got your response on the daycare mental health center.
She doesn't seem to know anything about it. Tell us where the center is.
Where is it? I'm not aware of a daycare health center. Are you asking for one?
It's right across the street from where the ambulance comes out on Smith Road. Mr. Ken works out of there with mental patients. He does an awesome job over there. They can go there and grab something to eat. Challenge people goes over there. They have can go there and take showers. He will take people off the street and shower them. He provides them with clothes. And
I was not aware anything of that was going on, Ms. Romelia. I was not aware.
Yes, ma'am. He does an awesome job. He has exercising facilities there. They can go and exercise. We just got them in a hoop, a basketball hoop, where the guys can come and play. Oh, you need to visit there, ma'am. It is
okay.
Awesome.
I will. Thank you. And you say it's where the ambulance come out?
Across the street, I think it's the Bowden building.
Where the Bowden shop used to be. Yeah, I'm timelining myself.
Yes, he is doing an awesome job there. We support him as much as we can. We go and have events there as well. You need to check it out and support him. He really needs the support. Thank you.
All right, my dear.
All right,
Thank you
thanks.
so much. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Yes, well, there you go. You learned something new today.
Mm-hmm.
This person says, while you have her on air, can you ask her to look into women's health, into why they've stopped giving free birth control? Why on earth?
Okay.
We can certainly ask the HSA about that. They might be in a better position to answer that, but God knows.
I'll
please,
look into it anyhow.
Y'all shouldn't stop giving free birth control. You should give more.
Well, that happens under family planning clinic. It's best to my knowledge. My days as a nurse and going out in the field for public health, and we
need
fund
more. We
public
need more
health
sex education. We need more birth
the
control.
education part of it. Yes, to be honest,
the education part is very, very important. But Lord, I mean, I hope that's not the Christian conservatives now saying don't even give them birth control, because they never want to take care of unwanted children. So let people.
It's responsible, Sandra. But no, I can look into that to see. And even if that is a case, we have to look at it from a public health standpoint of things. I will look into that immediately.
Mm-hmm. All right. Angel says, we'll see you in 2025, Minister Turner. Minister, I do have a bone to pick with you. Now, I know you've been very, very busy, but the people
need to CMR.
The people need to see you here more often.
I hear you. Not only for negative stuff that is not true. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Get the truth into try. Yeah. No.
Old Baden Department Store site is where Magdalene says it is. Okay.
Yeah. I know where it is now.
So this person, says, how is the new house? So they want to get all up in your business.
Mentally, it's a disaster.
So I suppose you're going to be doing renovation. It's you're flipping the house is basically what you're doing. Renovations and then selling it.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. I'm just moving a few houses down. That's pretty much all I've done, because I've always been a resident of Prospect and in Patrick's Island per se.
Yeah, and one of those is going to be up for sale. So somebody has a question. It is up for sale. So, your current house is up for sale, and then you're moving. Oh, okay. Well, listen, get some free advertising now for that house for sale. This person says, can you ask her if the loan can be called at any time? So if Wayne Panton wants her to back him on something, can he threaten to call the loan if she doesn't, meaning she is on his puppet strings? That's my concern.
No, that would be outside the terms and conditions of that contract. And like I said, we are two law-abiding, upstanding persons. That is not the game that we play. This is a regular transaction, as he used in his interview yesterday, arm's length. And he is not that type of individual. And like he said, he would never have gone into any arrangements of this nature. Looking at the sheer value of this contractual agreement speaks of volumes of how he perceives me. And likewise. So this is not just something that is a long-term 20-odd. I've refrained from going to the banks. No, that is not the case. That is not the case. And for reasons, of course, legal-wise, going into it, what needs to be in the public domain is already there. But no, Mr. Panton knows that he could not have controlled me. He explained that yesterday. And anyone, and I repeat, who knows me, knows that I am not a person who can be muzzled when it comes to the truth and standing up for what's right.
Yeah.
Some people have a moral compass and others don't. Yes. I have a moral compass.
Yeah. Caller in the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Morning, dear.
I'd like to congratulate Minister Sabrina and all that she has been doing. All this is a distraction, so she can it can put her into the mental institution. She just tell.
No,
I know you're listening, Sabrina.
Yes,
and always remember, people like this don't have anything good to say about anybody. There's nothing positive in their life. And always, my father always told me, he says, if you hate somebody for what they've done to you, you become them. Who do you want to be?
Exactly.
So
and I know I will not be fed by hatred.
It's really sad when people got to stoop so low and expect you to reach out to them and stoop as low as they are. You know, keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. When they go low, I go high. Words of Michelle Obama.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And you know, and I personally thank you for coming on. You and Wayne for coming on the on this forum to clarify the misinformation. It's really sad when you could be doing
other things, yes, and I'm here. Yeah.
And you got to come and explain a legal transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
That really is a low blow under the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
anyway, keep up the good work on Sunday.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Don't think about running for politics. We need you.
Oh no.
Where you are.
You know what is so funny? Just yesterday, someone sent me a message. I'm gonna just read it to you because I had to say to them. I said, "Who, me?" They said, "This was at 11:19." They said, "I hope that you'll be putting yourself in the next election as a candidate rather than continue supporting nuisances. It's time for you."
No, don't do that.
I know it's time for you to step up to the leadership role as an MP. And I said, I'm a leader in this community already. I mean, there's more than one way to lead, and there's more than one way to be impactful in your community. And let me be very, very clear. I couldn't imagine being any more impactful as an MP. I mean, listen, Sandy calls you, you know, Ma Road trying to track you down. You respond. Most MPs, you be dodging them left, right, and center. So I think people need to understand that we're not just media here. This platform, you know, Mr. Dexter and to others, was started not fully intending to be media, but intending to be an activist in the community and to really bring issues to the people that they cared about the most. And there is a media element to that. So yes, you know, there's a website, we do cover news stories and all that stuff, but it was always meant to be so much more. So thank you so much, Mr. Dexter. And you don't have anything to worry about. I have no intentions of entering the political arena.
My blood pressure is going down now that you told me that.
I keep saying it, so I've said it more times than I can count. But I know the truth takes time to gain traction, so I'll keep saying it. Not a problem.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, the thing about it is, sadly, that you know, my last wife, the one I'm married to now, that's my last wife, but the one before.
Uh-huh.
She told me, she says, I'm the most heartless person, and the doctor to find my heart should be given the Nobel Peace Prize.
The Lord have mercy. Have a good one.
Mr. Dexter.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Dexter. Have a good day.
All righty. So you know not says, and also, how is Juju going to react to her minister going on CMR? Thought it was not allowed.
I have been on CMR a number of times doing the STEP survey and the national health, and there has been no change in the Premier's reaction to me. We just go on with the work of the business for the people.
Yep. Can you ask the Honorable Minister what is her stance on allowing spouses of Caymanians with Caymanian children the ability to vote on their children's future without gaining status first? No, honey child, you need status. I don't know if the minister's ever thought about this question, but why wouldn't you get status? I mean, so what you're saying is someone who has not even gotten to that level of being able to get status should be able to vote? I mean, what next?
They're just referring to persons on residence and employment right certificate, RERC.
You know, have you looked at the number of marriages of convenience? You know what a hot mess that'd be? Oh, honey child, I can't agree with you on that one. No. You got to test. You got to pass the test of time at least a little bit. You know, allow them to be able to stay in it to win it. All right. Okay, Minister, I'm going to let you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I do. I have policy meeting this morning. Thank you so much to all the feedback that I've received. And like I said, I'm looking forward to coming again public with a formal update, and I'm not going to take the public's domain unless I know that I have certificate of occupancy or can give a very good reason as to why we cannot get certificate of occupancy of the Ponciana Mental Health, and then of course unveil the opening date, and then operations, as you know, and repatriation of our Caymanians back home. So I'm looking forward for that update from my civil service people. Thank you so much for having me, and have a blessed weekend.
Yes. And folks, don't forget that next week, we were talking about mental health, and it just made me remember that next week, Tuesday, Health City is back in the house. The summer hiatus, the little summer break is now over. So I'm looking forward to hearing from them, because I know that facility in Cayman Bay, wow. I don't know who government gets, and I don't know who PWD works with as contractors, but y'all need to start hiring some new contractors, because as long as this facility in East End has taken and it can't pass inspection, this and that, go talk to Health City, Cayman Islands, and find out who they use as contractors, because that place is done. Every single day I see them there working, doing the lawn, doing the work. What is the holdup? Why is it that no government project can ever be on time and within budget? It is the craziest thing in the world. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Sandy.
Morning.
And good morning, Honorable Sabrina.
She just left the studio.
Oh, she just left?
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something. I know that young lady.
Yeah.
I've known her before she came in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother was a very, very nice lady. And let me tell you, good politicians come off Elgin Avenue. I live on Elgin Avenue for all of my life.
Okay.
I'm still here. I'm sitting in front of the government administration building every single day of my life for the last 60-odd years. 60-odd. You had Almond Padden, O.L. Padden, the Honorable O.L. Padden, Sir Vassell Johnson, Mr. Claude Hill, Mr. Ira Walton. Four of them in a very close stick. One in front of me, or two on the side of me, and two on the other side. So good politicians come from this side. Yeah, we had a lot. And Sabrina, I know, Sandy, I get emotional. I know.
Oh my goodness.
Her mother, her mother died the year that I lost her leg in about 2000. And she, older, she's Sabrina now. God knows, if I believe that people were in heaven looking down, she would be smiling. I have to say to her younger Annie, her mother was the oldest child. Her Annie, very, very good friends. I went to church with them, and we were a little bit of children. Well, I have to say to her to me all the time, I said, oh boy, I'm so sad that Kate didn't make it to see Sabrina. And she is. So, I don't think there was anything wrong in what they did. And it's all open now. I caught the show late. Anyway, you all have a good Friday.
Yes, and, my dear.
And people talk, but they don't know. They don't know where Sabrina is coming from.
Yes.
There are people, the type of people that she was trained by. Her mother trained her. I know her father too.
Yeah.
Her mother the training.
Thank you so much.
She's much like her.
Thank you so much, sir. Wow. That caller, getting very, very emotional. Somebody said, oh, that's very hard to hear. Got me crying. Listen, this is the thing, folks, as Caymanians, we all come from varying backgrounds and situations, and we should be honestly happy for each other when we see Caymanians leveling up, doing better for themselves, acquiring things. But some people have this mentality, and this is all political, but some people also have this mentality that because you have come from nowhere, these people didn't have money, whatever, that you're not entitled to ever move anywhere in your life, and they want to keep you at a certain level. And so they get upset. I've seen this. I listen, I've seen it so many times, even in relation to myself. Certain people will say things like, well, how did you come up with this idea? And I look at them, and it's the way that it was said, implying that you some little nappy head child from Georgetown Central, who parents, were just average people working hard. You were not destined to do anything in life. You were not destined to be successful. You were not destined to have multiple properties. And the mentality, the small-minded mentality that we have to deal with in our communities is often shocking, and it holds back a lot of Caymanians from dreaming big. And listen, I'm a firm believer that you can do and become anything that you want, but you just have to do it with a degree of honesty and integrity. So you can't cheat your way to the top. You can't lie your way to the top. You can't steal your way to the top. And so those are the only people that I have an issue with is the ones who are doing it the wrong way. But any of us who comes along and does it the right way and, is a success story at whatever level, because you can define success, obviously, in a lot of different ways. I just want to say for the record that I am proud of all Caymanians who are able to make that happen, because then you make it possible. Other people will look at you and say, you know what, if this person could do this, knowing where they have come from, you make it possible for other people to dream and to dream really, really big. And there's nothing wrong with dreaming big. We all have to know that with the dream, there has to be a plan. Dreamers it's wonderful to be able to dream, but you also need to have a plan to actually execute it. And that is what separates a lot of people, right? Who you see on this side of it, who've actually achieved something, who've actually had some degree of success, is that they had the dream, but then they were able to move it from there into the realm of reality. And so I want to encourage anybody who, whatever your circumstances are in life, wherever you are now, let me assure you that you don't have to stay there. That's the key. You can move, and upward mobility is where it's at. And as she said, you've got to have a thick skin when you get into politics. You got to know that these things are coming and people are coming at you. And everybody's looking to unseat you, honey child. The next person looking to take you over. And it's part of what it is. I mean, I chuckle to myself. People say, oh boy, Sandy, we never saw this coming with you. We never thought you'd be in the number one spot. And then I have other people saying to me, well, people coming after your show in the mornings and they're looking to take you down. And I was like, whatever. I guess I should be honored that somebody thinks I'm something to take down. Like, I don't even know what that's all about. But, if they knew what it takes to get here and they're willing to put that in, knowing that there are no shortcuts, there's no cheap way to get here, then by all means, if you work as hard as I've worked, you deserve the exact same rewards and successes in life. And, you don't take that away from anyone. And I'm not, listen, like I'm telling you all, don't stay where you are in life. I'm not staying where I am either. I'm looking at the next goal. And the next goal is going to be an expansion of what it is that we're doing here. And so, yes, we are going to, and I'm putting this out there, from my lips to the hard work of planning and getting things done. This time next year, I hope to be in a position where we have our own radio platform, our own radio station. And that's going to be something that will come to fruition, doing some behind the scenes work and going to make it happen. So do you, whatever your, area is, real estate, whatever it is that you're doing, just be honest about it, be on your hustle, and just get it done. And more power to you, especially if you're a Caymanian. This situation's unfortunate. We spent, a lot of time talking about something that is a personal transaction between two individuals. And anybody else who wants to see this as something else, I think, unfortunately, it means that you don't actually know the individuals involved. And know not just because you can't trust, you can't trust anybody, but it's not even about that. It's about they've done it the right way to demonstrate there was never any ill intent here. This wasn't a backdoor deal. This wasn't something that was hidden. And all of a sudden, Mario uncovered this secret. When you file a land registry and you put, your name on that as having an interest on that property, you can believe that that is a public document. How many times have we sat here in the show and I'm like, who owns this property, whatever, and somebody just sends it. You can go in the system. Somebody just sends it to me and boom, there it is. There's nothing secret about it. Any of you that have a house, someone can go to the land registry and see who's on there. So if you own it jointly with somebody else, everybody can see that. If you have a loan against it and the bank has an interest or charge, it's all there. So, this is wasting an immense amount of time. And I'm very disappointed in Ezra Miller. Mr. Miller, I've always had a lot of respect for you because you do tend to stand up a lot of times for things that, we need to be looking at in this community. But I got to be honest with you now, I'm wondering what this is all about. I hope to God you're not thinking that this is going to be a way to revise your own political career, because this ain't it. This is a losing formula if you think. And Rejma has spent an enormous amount of time. I don't normally go to the Compass very often, but I must tell you, she has spent a lot of time writing this extremely lengthy story. She's gone back in history about, how the PAC government came together and how Sabrina was an independent, this and that. And Lord Jesus, she has pulled out so much historical information to put this together. What I also recognize, and I want you guys to understand this as well, is we are now at the beginning of what will be the height here shortly of the, I was going to say the hurricane season, but the political season, another kind of storm. And so the Compass wishes to be relevant in that space. And they very well may be. I'm not saying that they might not be, but their desire to be relevant means that stories like this, where they're pretending like they give two cahoots about the people of the Cayman Islands and our elections or anything else, they want to be relevant. So it is a positioning, if you will, of them attempting to be relevant. Last election, I can tell you, was our first foray as a company, Cayman Mall Road, into the electoral cycle. And not to pat myself on the back, but we actually did a really good job of coverage and all this sort of stuff. And I think the Compass is still sitting there scratching their bonkers on how that happened. Right. So, of course, they're getting ready and they want to be able to pivot themselves, whether it's to the PPM or anybody else, to say, hey, come and advertise with us, because here we are. We're going to stay on top of things politically, and we're going to be the forerunner in the election in terms of coverage and where people can get their information. I think most of us know that that simply isn't going to be the case. I'm just saying. They're going to try, but we're going to try harder. So good luck to them. All right, let's talk about the human smuggling. Marshall has some words for Mr. Miller, says he needs to go back and sit his old blickety, blick and blick down somewhere. He's done his time in politics. Don't worry about what's going on now. You ain't coming back, so relax. Ooh, yikes. All right. Well, let's keep this train rolling, honey child. Listen. The human traffickers, oh my God. These people are unbelievable. Wow. I've never seen quite, oh my God. I've never seen quite a trial, a situation like this in court. It does make me wonder. Anne says the Compass finally figured out that their news was not worth our dollar. They need to stop printing it, save a couple trees, because even when it's free, y'all are still not picking it up, to be honest. But anyway, and Darlene thanking Mr. Panton for actually helping Sabrina. Yes. So listen, I was a bit flabbergasted at what I witnessed with this case. These people we're talking about mental health today. I was sitting there in court wondering if they don't have mental health issues themselves, because something wrong with them. And just plain layman's English, they're not rated. Oh my God. It's so crazy the way that they were acting. So let me read my notes from court, because they refused to participate in the process. Okay. boy, I don't know. This one had me all sorts of confused. All right, hold on. Lord Jesus. I don't know what to say, but here we go. Back in May, we were the ones who broke this story that there was a vessel that was found. It looked like a private yacht off of the coast of Cayman Brac. And that on board that vessel, there were some Ethiopians that were found hiding in the vessel. And then within days of that, there was an allegation that this could be a case of human trafficking. Now, listen, as somebody said earlier in the show, to be clear, we have had human trafficking in this country probably forever. We may not have called it that, but that's what it is. And so we have to be extremely careful as a jurisdiction about how people are getting on our shores and what is happening in relation to them. For example, we have a lot of Jamaicans that come here, a lot of Honduran nationals, other countries, Nepalese. I hear there's a whole thing going on there. It's interesting because even this other case that was the verdict, the sentencing came down yesterday with the Indian nationals doctoring work permit documents and having fake receipts and all sorts of stuff. That could be another case of human trafficking. And the magistrate, Chief Magistrate Hernandez, big shout out to her. She actually said that she was a little bit disappointed that the WRC folks did not undertake a more comprehensive investigation into what that was all about, because she feels like there was so much more to the story. They only got one guy. They knew that there were 13 people that he had fake documents and stuff for, but there was so much more. This was a, as she put in her words, somewhat sophisticated, arrangement. And so, having said that, I want to tell you guys that human trafficking has been occurring here. This is the first case where we know for sure it's human trafficking. And what these people were doing to these poor Ethiopians is horrific. Oh my God, they are. And I'm disappointed that the court has said that we can't name them, because we had named them and they have a history that people all around the world should be very, very cautious of. But here they are. We blurred out the picture, and I'm going to tell you why the court says we can't name them. I actually think it's that part of the ruling personally is ridiculous. They should be named, and everybody in the world should know exactly who they are, because when they leave Cayman, they're going to be going somewhere else, honey child, and wherever they're off to, y'all better be on the lookout. So it is concerning what has happened here. I'll be quite frank and honest with you. These people are operating by a very different standard when it comes to how they're treating individuals. Wow. So this was an unusual case for more reasons than one. Number one, we don't actually have anything on record like this in the court system, in the judiciary, where we could say, oh, there's already been a precedent set in terms of how to sentence these people and whatever. They refused to participate in the process. So let me be very, very clear. I took some notes in court yesterday. And, what happened was they were spotted the vessel was out in our waters, in our territorial waters. And then they were spotted in the grocery store buying some food. So when the CBC officers or police, I'm trying to remember who it was now. Let me just look at my notes. Walked up to them to say, hey, you're here and you're on that vessel, CBC, and we need to be able to check the vessel. Then it became a very different story. So at first, this is what she said, that the evidence was that basically they had a good attitude towards the officials, But it became clear that once they needed to search the vessel, then their attitude completely changed. So that changing of their attitude would tell any CBC officer worth his salt that something was amiss here, and something was going on why they did not want them to search that vessel. So of course they claim some kind of special rights. I don't know anything. They have multiple names, multiple passports. They're kind of they're very, very shady individuals. This is crazy. These people are crazy. I mean, I don't know how else to explain this to you. But obviously, when the authorities went on board the vessel, that is when they then found, I'm sure to their shock and surprise, that is when they actually found these Ethiopians on board the vessel. My God. Now, not only were these people on board this vessel, and to be clear, they did not want to come to the Cayman Islands. They had apparently never even heard anything about the Cayman Islands. This is a 52-year-old man and a 39-year-old woman. This is May the 14th at 10:35 a.m., right close to Scott's dock there in Cayman Brac. These Ethiopians, 2 Ethiopians, were found locked in the vessel's cabin. So not only did they have no intentions of coming to the Cayman Islands, and I'm sure didn't even know where they were at the time until they were told, the way in which they were treated apparently is shocking and deplorable. So the court said that, listen, this was a pre-planned voyage where the passengers of this vessel were offered in exchange for several $1,000s US, the ability to, be transported. And there was a high degree of planning, expectation of a substantial financial gain. And what they then did to these men is they basically kept them prisoners on the ship. So none of them said that they wanted to stop here in the Cayman Islands. And in fact, they knew nothing about it. They were trying to get, because they had an arrangement now, they were trying to get direct passage to Honduras. And they were brought into this jurisdiction against their will. And the court said through no fault of their own. So the 2 victims, these 2 Ethiopian men, were treated, it says, poorly, that they were subject to racial abuse, verbal abuse, forced to sleep outside, exposed to the elements, forced to work on the yacht, and deprived of adequate food and water. This is like the makings of a horror movie, to be honest. They gave compelling evidence, the chief magistrate said, that they suffered psychological harm in the way that they were treated on board this vessel. So incredibly sad. Oh my God. At all stops, including Cayman Brac, they would be locked inside the cabin, so they weren't permitted to come out. And then they were instructed to lie to any boarding authorities by pretending that they were janitors. And again, they say that the man here was motivated by financial benefit. He showed no regard for basic human decency, for the welfare of these 2 passengers. And it says that, they placed their trust in him, and their trust was obviously abused. In fact, so much so that they had a difficult time recounting how these 2 were treating them, and that she, the female, although she might not have been doing... Hello? Hello?
Morning.
Hi, morning.
Good morning, Arthur. How are you doing today?
Not bad. How are you?
Yeah, I listened to this case we're talking about,
Yes.
Did the Cayman authorities check with Interpol or other international agencies and things to see if these people need fingerprints or something come up on the computer?
They have, because we can't name them again, but the first story that we did, if you go back and read that very first story, you will actually see that they have an interesting history of sailing around in a boat like they're nomads or something. And so you'd be able to see what type of people they are in terms of that. They had some instance previously where they were in another jurisdiction in the Caribbean, kind of carrying on with some other behavior. So if you go and read the stories, you'll be able to kind of piece that together. It's just that unfortunately, we have not been able to, and I want to talk about this part, why the magistrate made this decision. But they're a British couple, and they were involved in some controversy in St. Lucia last year when they turned up at a hospital with this baby, claiming that the 39-year-old wife had given birth at sea. I mean, they could have stole this baby for all I know. But anyway, they're not without an interesting. They're not without an interesting past.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. That's what I'm saying. They should have check on the international level if they know that
it doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like anything
in St. Lucia, because they could have picked them up from anywhere. Where did they pick up these Ethiopians? They could have picked them up on high sea. Right here in the Caribbean, right off of Cayman. They could have. There's a lot of questions that is left to be answered.
Well, let me keep talking, because you might get some of your answers, I think.
Yeah, and they had them forced labor, what they force them with gun over with their firearms on it. We shouldn't have these. We shouldn't be prisoning them here. That's not. So we got to spend money now to keep them in prison here.
Yeah. Well, they have to go to jail. Nobody else is going to put them in prison. But thank you so much, caller. I appreciate it. So we will get some of the additional details here in just a second. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thanks. How you doing?
Yeah, good. When I'm watching this and listening to this, we have so many people that goes missing. They never find their bodies, like in the poorer countries and stuff like that, Jamaica and Haiti and other places. I wonder if this is what happens to them, because they just go on sight and unseen, and this is an eye-opener. Sometimes the people meet them in grocery stores somewhere, invite them on a yacht for the day or something, or they want it clean or something.
You gotta be careful.
Yes, and then they take the people away, because there's so many missing in the world. I mean, missing even children. And now this is an eye-opener that the world will see, that they needs to be aware when they see these people. Do not go anywhere with them, and your platform is being heard over the world. So it's a good thing, and so it's not just here in Cayman, because here, I don't think most of the time the people here want to go nowhere. So they go to the poorer countries that they can tell them these things. And this is sad. The people are crying for their sisters, their husband, their children all over the world. Oh my God. And then they might be slaves or prostitutes somewhere. So I'm glad that these things has come to light. And sometimes it come in the places where you least expect it, because who would have think they would have been caught here, But thanks for sharing these things, because people might think, oh, it don't have no worth. It got worth. It gives hope to people that their family are gone. This gives hope,
Yes.
And you all have a blessed weekend. God
Thank
bless all.
Yes,
okay, darling. Okay.
Yeah,
bye.
This case is concerning folks for so many reasons. I mean, I was very, very shocked, to be honest, and to see their attitude and their behavior was even more shocking, because if they could act the way, and by the way, we're now off of radio. Didn't get to say bye to our radio listeners, but they know what time it is. What I would say is that these individuals, in my mind, pose a very, very obvious danger to anyone who comes in contact with them. Listen, they might look like they're sweet little old people from the UK. Well, he's older. She's not really that old. But I would not trust them one bit. I'm sorry. But y'all need to be careful now. There's some real concerns here about, what these people are up to. My God. I've never seen anything quite like this. Like I said, as I was sitting there in court, my mouth was dropped open and I was flabbergasted. So, wow. All right. let's continue having a look here at what else was going on. So yes, the baby, somebody asked if the baby was on board with them. Yes, the child was on board with them. I'm trying to get through the details of the case here. Yes, caller, good morning.
Good morning again, Miss Sandy. Miss Sabrina.
You know she's no longer here. So
she's already gone.
No, she's gone. Yeah, and we moved on. We're talking about the human trafficking case now.
Okay, well. I called you about that already first. So I want to hear.
You should be listening now because now we're telling all the details.
Well, I guess I got some details too, but like I said, I am so proud of that judge because it need to set an example that the other ones that is coming will know that we don't accept that kind of thing in Cayman. And I hope that they make them serve the amount of time that they're supposed to serve. But like I say, not on our expense. That big for the boat that they got, sell that and pay for it. And then make sure that they don't return to the island after that.
Okay. Thank you, my dear. All right, keep listening because I'm going to tell you guys exactly what her verdict is. But yes, so this was pre-planned, and these people knew exactly what they were doing. I mean, the shocking part is how they treated these two men, and the question of whether or not there was a gun on board. Well, that wasn't found, but I'm surprised that these men allowed. And it just shows you the disparity, and oftentimes it comes down to wealth and resources. When you're relying on someone to shelter you and to feed you and to, drive a vessel that you don't know how to drive, what did we expect these poor men to be able to do? I mean, physically, at some point, I'm sure they could have overpowered this woman and this guy, but chances are they had no idea how to use that boat and how to get to Honduras. So they were relying on them for safe voyage. And as a result of that, they were able to just treat them like animals. It sounds horrible what they were doing to them. Again, they were told to lie to the authorities and pretend that they were janitors. And the court said that they had no regard for basic human decency for the welfare of these two passengers. So the just looking here. She talked about the deception with the CBC officers, that they would have left the BRAC and taken the two gentlemen with them. She says that the appalling treatment of these two gentlemen would have continued upon leaving this jurisdiction. So the harm, they say, was in legal terms medium, but they accepted that it was, for the woman, it was not as high as for the man, but she did not orchestrate the arrangements, nor did she captain the vessel. However, there was evidence, witnesses, the two men were told what her role was. And basically she followed the lead of her boyfriend or whatever he's supposed to be, husband, whatever. She followed his lead and she was oblivious. She was not oblivious, my apologies, to what was happening. So in other words, she fully knew, and that she took some active role in the discussions regarding payment. And during some of the discussions, she actually intervened in order to say that the price should be higher. So she wanted more money. So she was also not as culpable as him, but she was involved in the negotiation of the fare and negotiating it even higher. So the Crown and the court accepted that she too is motivated by the expectation of some sort of financial benefit. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Sandra.
Not bad. How are you?
Okay. First of all, I think we need to give the CBC and Cayman BRAC a thumbs up for the job they did finding these people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And second, I don't know if you've noticed some of the comments on a thing from some Crystal Love.
No.
About,
let me see.
Yeah, she keeps saying about these people are innocent and they can be proven innocent. And
I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all, actually, on my thing. So, is it Facebook or YouTube?
It's on Facebook.
Okay, so maybe they've already blocked her. But let me see. Because I'm not seeing it coming up. I see Cayman Bracker. I see Miss Sue. Damien.
No, not today. Doing on yesterday's post.
Oh, and yesterday's post. Okay.
Something about some Crystal Love about they helping the children in the UK and all kind of.
Oh yeah. It seems like they're part of. I don't know if this is a cult or what this is that they're involved in. I'm not familiar with this. But yeah, it seems like they're like the people who are wearing sneakers, Nike sneakers, and then all committed suicide. It seems like it's some kind of cultist thing that they're involved in. Which explains the fanaticism of it all, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But on a serious note, like them CBC officers, when they board in vessels like that, I think they should have more. What word to use? I shouldn't say weapons or whatever, but they should, because suppose them people really wanted to get on that. I don't think our CBC officers goes board with.
Yeah.
I just thought
Thank you, darling. Yeah, no problem at all. I mean,
the tanker is still here, nobody to birth that either. So I don't know what's gonna happen to that.
Yeah, we're gonna. Oh Lord, what a mess. We're gonna post up something about that a bit later on as well. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Take care.
Yes, my love. So during court, even yesterday, they were holding up signs, refusing to participate in the process and refusing to say anything in their own defense. But they had these handwritten signs on paper that they were holding up, I guess, for, instead of showing their faces, for the media to be able to read. I mean, it's just unbelievable what these people were carrying on with. Talking about what's the evidence of a crime. I mean, there seems to be some real issues here. Anyway, oh my Lord. So it seems again that she benefited from the use of their food and also showed no regard for the well-being or caring. It also said that she was a willing participant, although she might not have been the brains of the operation, and she was good at using these two men to basically force them to clean and do dishes and whatever they wanted them to do. So, when it said that to the extent of the treatment of both in Europe and Germany. Wow. It is such a sad, it is such a sad situation. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, morning again. I just keep calling questions. Just keep on.
But if you keep listening, you might get the answers.
No, so I don't think so. I don't think so. It's gone beyond now. What was saying or why not? Did these Ethiopians, the people that was being trafficked, did they have passports and things, no?
They had
some form of identification. What I'm getting at up there was they hiring these people to carry them to Honduras illegally?
Yes.
Yeah, but it was into the entrance into Honduras. Now, if they didn't have any passport, it would have been illegally, right? So what I'm saying, they could be guilty of a crime themselves because they may have
made it to Honduras. Well, they didn't make it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, they could have smuggled into Honduras and then try to go across to the United States border too. So they're not totally innocent either.
All right, but listen to me carefully now. We're not here to protect other people's borders, so we can only deal with what has happened in our jurisdiction. Yes, obviously they were on their way to Honduras. When they got to Honduras, that would have been a matter for the Honduras government to deal with.
Yeah, I'm saying I know that. I perfectly know that, but I'm just saying we rewarding them here to what those two Ethiopians rewarded them money from Cayman Islands. I think they were rewarded money from. I heard on the news yesterday, right? Am I wrong?
We're going to get.
Did you give them some money or something?
We're going to get to what she says about the victims here in a second. So we're still not done.
Yeah, but I'm saying they might have been victims. They might have been part of a crime themselves, and then they met some bigger criminals that just double cross them. That's what I'm saying. Because they might have, those people that are claimed to be were being human trafficking. They could have been part of a crime too, getting into another part of the world, or whatever. That's not a part of the world business jurisdiction. I know that. That's what I'm saying. They mightn't be totally innocent either. They might have been double cross. Because if you're going to a country legally, why can't you go through the normal means? Was there any information that they were traveling with these people on the boat? That they left the port illegally wherever they got onto the boat by these people, right? That got aboard the boat owners, did they got on there legally or illegally? That's another thing. Willingly or unwillingly, that all those questions need to be asked. So we can't be rewarding them, and we really don't know. All of them should be in jail because we don't know the final answer. The Ethiopians might be suspicious of some other crime too. That's all I'm saying, So just getting that out there, and I'm not saying nothing about the judgment was wrong or anything. I'm just saying there's a lot of questions that should become to light too, just based on why I'm thinking at the case. Okay, I'll leave you with that.
All right, my dear. So obviously, when something is defined as human trafficking, there is an understanding that the individuals who are involved, who are being trafficked, would have paid for services, but they are seen as victims everywhere in the world, and this would be no exception. The people who are being trafficked are seen as the victims. Okay? That's important to understand when you talk about human trafficking. So I understand his concerns, but we cannot be concerned about securing anybody else's borders. We can only deal with what we have before us. And this is what the judge was basically saying, is that when they came to Cayman, they became our problem. Had they gone on to Honduras, that would have been Honduras's problem, and Honduras would have to figure out what they were going to do with them. But I seriously doubt Honduras would have done anything different in the circumstances, because I don't know of any jurisdiction that treats the victims of human trafficking to the same culpability and degree as the people who are actually trafficking them. The judge said that the victims are vulnerable. They spoke little English. They had little means of escape. They were very beholden to the defendants as far as their movements. So they had no control. So that this now is not where they can be held to the same culpable standard, or, they've also committed a crime. They might have started out this saying, hey, we just want to get to Honduras. Here's a couple $1,000s, but this turned into something very, very differently, where they themselves became victims. And so the judicial system in most places in the world would treat them differently and accord them, some consideration as victims. They talked about this baby. So let's talk about this baby here a little bit. So this child has now been awarded to be a child of the state of, the jurisdiction of England and Wales. The child is here in the Cayman Islands. So I'm assuming at some point arrangements will be made to send this child abroad. This was a reason why the judge said that they should be afforded anonymity, if you will. I don't personally agree with that, and I'll tell you why. Number one, the baby, I'm not sure how her parents being named as human traffickers and smugglers is going to impact her. It's like any other crime. Crimes happen every single day, and people are parents, and you get named, and people know that you have children. And your underage children will suffer as a result of what you have done. These are the things that you should be thinking about when you decide to have children and to commit crimes, that your children and your entire family are going to have to bear the brunt of what you have actually done. And so this is really, really important, because if that is not a deterrence to you, staying on the straight and narrow path, your own child, I guess nothing will be. So I don't understand this logic. I don't understand why they have done this. Why the court has said, let's not name them. I think that they should be named for the purpose of warning other people, because these people seem so unsettled in their behavior that I can't imagine that they're not going to continue to be on the other side of the law. They're already causing problems in another jurisdiction, and I dare say that they're not going to stop. So I find it peculiar, and I don't understand the judge's logic, especially given the fact that they're also foreign nationals. So you can't really say that there's going to be severe impacts in this jurisdiction for this couple. Once they leave the jurisdiction, the child should also be leaving the jurisdiction. I don't understand the logic of why it is that we're protecting them. To me, that is very, very, I can't follow the logic. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy. I hesitated to call because I know you are in the middle of discussing this subject, but in agreement with who I think it may have been, Curtis from Cayman, the comments that are in the article that may have been posted yesterday, that were posted since then from what I assume would be their friends in the UK. It's very, 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 very confusing. And as far as the courts deciding to keep their faces unknown to the public, their friends in the UK posted a TikTok. The man's face is right up there if you want to go and look and see what it's all about. It's on TikTok.
Yeah, but you see,
about the New World Order.
Let me tell you something about it, right? This is the irony of these court orders, which I often chuckle and laugh at, because I deal with international colleagues in the space of media, and there's one right now in the UK. I know that he will do this story and he will name them. But us here in Cayman, we are held to this sometimes often, 1890 standard of, oh, we can't name people, we can't do this, we can't do that. But other media in the world will name them and will have no qualms about it, including UK media. So I know that they're going to be named. I know that they're going to be named. And Cayman can't name them. And because in our first story, we had them named and we had their whole history of what they were doing in St. Lucia, wherever the heck they were. And these people are trouble.
Well, I'm on the saying, their friends posted last night, the same individuals that I'm pretty sure that was Curtis from the Brack that was speaking, right? And then it was Mr. Dennis after the fact. And it caught my attention. It caught many people's attention. And I did comment on it as well. And I did watch a TikTok, as I say in the comments, and I'm no wiser as watching after having watched that. I'm no wiser to the situation to prove their innocence as I was before watching the TikTok. But his face is there. He is who he is, and their friends have called him out. So it's not a big deal. I mean, he's there for the public to see.
Yeah. I mean, listen, these are UK nationals. Thank you. I haven't seen the comments, so I'll try to go back and have a look. But to be clear, these are UK nationals that will be deported back to the UK. The baby will go back to the UK. Why are we protecting the identity of people in the UK? What do we care?
I don't get that either. I really don't.
Well, I don't understand this part of it. I mean, why do we care? To be quite frank and honest, this child is not going to be. The child can be adopted. It's a ward of the state. The child could be adopted by somebody else in the UK, and the child would never know who these people are. This baby's a very young baby.
Yeah.
So what is the child going to know about it? The child can't read and write at this stage in its life.
It's basically, as you indicated earlier, it's almost like a horror movie. It's like so convoluted, which I think is the word I used in my comments. It's like, surreal. Surreal is the word. I just don't know what to make of it. I mean, we've never had anything, or at least that is this public, happen before.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That was
it is pretty wild. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That their friends have already ousted them by posting a TikTok of the man.
Yeah, what a mess.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Wow. I mean, I hadn't seen that. I haven't been reading any of the comments or anything, so I'll go and have a look this morning. But yeah, I mean, these people are they're all kind of different. So they talk about, having a young baby on board, and they did this in the presence of a child, which escalates in the court's eyes the danger that would have been present. So there is no evidence, and they have obviously reached out to England and Wales to try to track these people down. They do go by different names. There is no evidence, of course, that they have a conviction in any other jurisdiction, so they are entitled to whatever percentage of a discount you get for no previous convictions. So they were treated as people of good character. And when the court says that somebody is a person of good character, that simply means that they have no recorded previous convictions. Clearly, these people aren't people of good character. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Morning, dear.
Yes, I'm listening to your comments and conversation with other people about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be long, just a minute. Mm-hmm. I want to say, as indigenous Caymanians from so many generations that was Caymanians, I must say this morning, Cayman now, in my opinion, has become a really, really nasty place with a lot of nasty people in our island that is doing these things, and they all under the smoke screen that with no identification. If there's been a Caymanian, specifically a West Bear, or maybe even a Georgetown, that's going to go to the headline. What's going on in this island?
I can assure you that we don't put West Bears in the headline more than anybody else on Georgetown, North Side, East End. It's equal treatment for everybody.
No, listen now. Don't take it for this has not been met to you. I'm talking about in general consensus of what's going on in the island, the rumor mongers.
Mm-hmm.
So this has nothing to do with your show.
Mm-hmm.
But let's face reality. What's going on into this island from where we were and where we are now? Only Christ knows where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
It is getting to be one of the most undesirable places in the world. Just give it another 2-3 years. That's all.
Lord Jesus.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for listening to me.
Appreciate it, my dear. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you.
So I can tell you that the vessel, the court has ordered the seizure of the vessel for forfeiture. That instructed CBC to apply for forfeiture of the seized vessel, the SV Moon Dancer, and that's under the Customs and Border Control Act and Section 31 of the Penal Code. It's crazy. The $3,496 US that they found on the vessel, that was also seized toward compensation, and that was under Section 33 of the Penal Code. So they've also forfeited the cash, $3,500 US, 500 euros, and there is another minimal amount, I think of some $900 or something, that will go be forfeited as well. So they have forfeited that for restitution, and the court talked about the compensation amounts to be paid to the defendant in terms of what was recoverable. This was, I mean, to watch this unfold in court, my God, I wish you guys could have been there, because it was shocking how these people were behaving. And she did give them one final opportunity if they had anything to say. And then they started screaming off about this, what do they call it? This CQV Act 1966. And they're like going on and on about that and claiming that, basically it's an act of redress for inconveniences, and claiming that they haven't done anything wrong, and it's just madness. And these handwritten signs they had covering their faces, so she had to cut them off when they started to speak with their spewing their nonsense. The judge says mute them again. So basically they remain muted for most of the proceedings. They were going to bring them in court. Let me tell you all this now. They were actually going to bring them in court And we were told that we would have to move when they were bringing them in court from where we normally sit because their behavior was so unpredictable that there were concerns about what they might do in court. So they didn't want media to sit where we would normally sit to be in harm's way. And I was thinking to myself, good Lord. So they had extra presence there from the authorities, CBC officers, as well as police and stuff were like on hand to deal with these people. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, Miss Brenda. That's you. You've been missed. You've been missed.
Anyway, I wish I could believe that, but that's okay.
It's true.
I just have a couple of questions, please.
Yes.
And these two individuals, while they were here in Cayman, were they out on bail or were they on lockdown?
Oh Lord, no, they couldn't be on bail. They're not stable. So
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they.
All right.
My Lord, only God knows what they would have done if they were on bail.
Well, I have my reason for asking
Yes.
that question, and because I'm here thinking because we know that these people don't do this kind of stuff alone. And I'm very troubled by this young baby. And I was going to ask a question. I should see one of your listeners suggested it, so I'll just read it out. Where, they've said that DNA needs to be done with the baby to see if they're actually biological parents.
I agree.
Because that child, let's just say that the child is not, then that leads us to other questions. Then where's the mother? We know these kinds of things happen. Where, women are also taken into captivity when they're about to give birth. And once they've been, once that happens, then they discard the body, dead or alive. So I'm very curious about that one. And I am hoping that they don't release either one of them until a DNA sample can be taken from all three. So, and if it's, I don't know how young the baby is, but if she gave birth to the baby, there would be obvious signs on her showing that, she'd recently given birth. And the other thing I wanted to say is, I wish that they would show their faces because, you said that they weren't out on bail, so I guess it couldn't be the same people.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that they're not connected to these other people who are actually driving around, trying to get young girls to come with them and telling them that they're part of a network. So,
yes.
And, these people are not who we think they are. They don't look like what we might think they look like. So it could all be linked,
You never know anymore.
I really hope that the authorities here will reconsider their decisions with these people before they actually deport them.
Yes.
And I think it's just wrong to protect their identities because in doing that, you know what will happen? They'll just go home, get different documentation, and come back on the other names or start their business over in other names. Anyway, I know you want to finish telling the story, so
Thank you so much.
And I just wanted to ask that question.
No, I think those are some very salient points, and I too am concerned about the child and where they actually got this baby from. So I think that there definitely needs to be, and they may have done that already because they did say now that the child is going to be a ward of the UK. So entirely possible that that they have already done that, but this is quite a mystery because I don't know. I mean, people like this are capable of stealing a baby. God knows if you can treat people the way in which these two guys on board were treated. Who knows? Oh yeah. Yeah. So this is also a cautionary tale about when yachts come in, making sure that we know who is on board these vessels, who they are, they dock and they feel like they can just come on board and, walk around Cayman Brac at the store. Wow, Cayman Brackers, y'all, seems like Cayman Brac has been targeted recently for a lot of migrant traffic. And in this case, some really unsavory individuals coming on shore, hanging out they were found at Tibbetts Marketplace, eating a meal with the baby. And they seemed okay while they were being assisted until they said, "Oh, we'd like to take a look at your vessel." And they then started to act belligerent. So both of them, were in court on the 2nd and 3rd of September for the trial. From the onset of the proceedings, unfortunately, both defendants refused to participate. They offered repeatedly free legal representation by the court, and they refused it. They had lots of information in relation to the child, that the child was actually on board the vessel. And it's just, quite a shocking set of facts, really. So they had all the materials available to them. So if they wanted to act as their own lawyers, they could have done that. And basically, their primary concern was not really to participate in the legal process. They were more interested in what the court described as vexatious and disruptive behavior of the defendants on every single occasion. That's the impression. They said at all stages, this is what her magistrate said, this court has ensured that despite the vexatious and disruptive behavior of the defendants on every single count, steps were taken to ensure that they were served with minutes of orders and video link capabilities to their cells so that they could actually participate in the proceedings. And the court repeated their rights to legal counsel, invited them to participate in the proceedings, and at all times they refused to do so. And actually, what they were doing is they were saying that the courts here of the Cayman Islands had no jurisdiction over them because they obviously think that they're somebody special. So, anywho, they claim to be followers of the CQV at 1666. And the court said that there's no evidence that courts have ever had to deal with the challenges presented by this ideology. From the first appearance, they held up sheets of paper with handwritten notes which declared fraud CQV at 1666. And I must tell you again, I'm not too familiar with this CVQ at 1666 thing, but this is what they were going on with. What a hot mess. Anyway, they were claiming that they didn't consent. Everything was being done under duress. And they basically felt like, this court had no jurisdiction over them. So I don't know what they intended to do there. Needless to say, she did have jurisdiction, and she sentenced the man to, let me just pull up my notes here, 4 years imprisonment. So he will be here at our pleasure for 4 years. And then she talked about Section 66 of human smuggling. The court, looked at several authorities from the UK in particular. And there was a 1999 Court of Appeal decision where someone involved in facilitating the legal entry of a single immigrant. So that was looked at. And quite a shocking set of circumstances. So they're off to jail. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Sandra. I just wanted to, I'm not sure if that's on your agenda today, but I saw something come across from a media outlet. I'm not sure which one might have been yours, in reference to, and I'm only stating the nationality because it's in the article, an Indian national whom has been charged and sent for
we're gonna get to that one. I wanted to get to it today, but when I scheduled last night, I didn't know that the minister was gonna come on, so that took up a bit of our time. So I'm gonna leave that till Monday when our radio listeners can also tune in, and I also have a meeting that I need to get to. But yes, we're going to talk about that because that is another situation that is very, very concerning.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'll leave you there then.
Thank you so much. So yes, we're going to get to that one. Again, both CBC and WORC definitely have their hands full. Without a doubt. Mm-hmm. All right. Hot mess. Yes, honey child. So Siobhan Berry says 4 years, what a joke. Yeah, so 4 years for him. And I think it was 18 months for her. There's a balance of $946 is going to go to the Crown. That was a token balance, the judge said, the magistrate. And of course, the Crown will also get, I guess, the proceeds of whatever they do with the vessel. Unbelievable. Okay, 18 months for him and 12 months for her in relation to Section 98. 6 months for the male and 4 months for the female. So there were several different offenses. All of this will run concurrently, of course. 4 years in prison, and then 40 months for her is the highest sentence that she received as well. No discount because obviously they never did plead guilty or anything like that. And they went to a full trial. So there you go. Oh, and here's the other thing. Talk about this indoctrination. They actually tried, this is important to note, that like how they were holding up those pieces of paper and stuff in court with all this stuff on it. They did the same thing with the Ethiopians as well. They had given them sheets of paper for them to read, trying to indoctrinate the Ethiopians with their ideology. I mean, it almost sounds like these poor Ethiopians end up being kidnapped in a way by these people. The magistrate said that the impact of their experience was obvious. One crying when he was trying to explain what happened on the boat, and they both spoke of the mental harm and the difficulty they were having just trying to forget what had happened to them. Called racial slurs. They were called morons. They were shouted at. The money that they had for food was then taken and purchased. The defendants purchased and was eating out their food money. They were subject to being starved, forced to work constantly, and the food that they purchased with their own money was then eaten by the defendants. It's a hot mess. Wow. All right. 5 years imprisonment, 60% of that is obviously what he will serve. And pure madness. So the Nepalese nationals here in this country, thank you, Live Happy. This is something that keeps coming to my attention. And I'm going to tell you that what's going to happen here. I mean, we'll talk about this on Monday with the Indian nationals as well. Those of you who are in the community, and I'm aware that a lot of these communities are very tight-knit communities. You know, they really do stick together and have all their, events and whatever. Y'all need to get the message out in the Nepalese community, the Indian community, all these Filipino community, all these communities, that if you're coming to the Cayman Islands and you continue to breach our immigration laws, you're trying to falsify all these documents, at some point, you all are doing yourselves the most injustice, because you will start to become personas non gratas as an entire group of people. We're going to start judging all of you with one very broad brush, and you have to accept that that's how humans are. And, we're going to start looking at all of you with a side eye and say, don't let any more Nepalese in. Watch Indian nationals that are coming in. And it's always a small percentage of people that, like this one guy, that trying to sneak in 16 people, which we'll talk about on Monday. So this is real cause for concern. And so if you guys are leaders in those communities, I think, you have your different groups, like I said, your cultural groups and so on. There's some people that are respected within these communities for the organizations that they put up to try to help their own nationals. You need to put the messaging out there that you guys have to be on the alert for any newcomers or even other people who've been here that are trying to take advantage of the system, because it will impact every single one of you in a negative way. And of course, you don't want to do that. Same thing with the Jamaicans. It's a handful of Jamaicans that come here and cause trouble, but it makes it bad in everybody, right? And separate yourselves from, if you're of good character and you're not into all that kind of foolishness, separate yourselves from those people who are, and let them know you're not going to come here to the Cayman Islands and mess up what for us is a pretty good situation with all of your unlawfulness, fraudulent documents, and all your shenanigans. Put some pressure on them from within your own communities as well. We'll talk some more about that on Monday's show, folks. Please have yourselves a safe weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday for sure. And yeah, that's what she wrote, and we'll be back. So actually, oh man, not Monday. My apologies. I won't be here on Monday. I'll be in court myself. How could I forget? Jesus. Tuesday. And then Tuesday, we got Hell City coming back. So yes, here's the game plan for next week. Monday, I'm supposed to be up in front of the Court of Appeal. I don't know how this works exactly. So I don't know if there's going to be any delays or anything else, but I have scheduled myself for Monday. I'm going to be as ready as I can be. So this weekend, I'm going to mentally get in the zone to appear before the Court of Appeal. And then I think it takes them some time to consider, and then they release judgments like months later. I don't know. So a couple other cases coming up for appeal. Renato Harris, convicted rapist, he's appealing his case. Canova Watson and Bruce Blake, they're appealing their case. So there's a number of appeals that are coming forward before the Court of Appeal. So we'll see exactly what happens. And of course, I'm going to do my best to get my appeal overturned. I was reviewing the court, the transcripts and a couple other things, and I don't want to go into it at this stage. I want everything to be wrapped up and done. And then we can talk about whether I'm successful or not. We'll talk about the grounds of my appeal, but I'm feeling good. Let me just say that one of the grounds is pretty solid in my opinion. And I'm not a lawyer, so take that with a grain of salt, but I'm feeling good. So we'll see. I got, recorded evidence to support my position. All right, good folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate, as always. Thanks to the minister for coming onto the program. Renato says Renato needs to relax his ass in prison talking about appeal. I know, right? And there is something of note. We're not taking any more phone calls. Sorry, guys. But there is something of note that I'll tell you guys about afterwards. But anywho, yeah, I'll explain a bit more about my appeal afterwards, because although it's a judge situation, I don't want to talk about it in advance. I'll talk to you guys about it later on. But let me read a few comments over here. Somebody says it's also important to acknowledge that without the Ethiopians' cooperation, this is a good point, in the investigation, the Crown would have had insufficient evidence to convict the British couple. So the Ethiopians were charged for illegal landing, so they were charged for that, and they would probably. So my apologies. Let me correct that. So if the Ethiopians were charged for illegal landing, they'd probably not have cooperated with investigation into the more serious crimes of human trafficking. Point well taken. And that is why, in a lot of these instances, even with WORC offenses, that just like prostitution, a lot of times they're going to arrest the pimp and not the prostitute, because they need the prostitute to help them bring the pimp, which is a more serious offender, before the courts. So yes, there is an element of they were participating up to a point, but there's also, a recognition, if you will, that as this caller or listener to the program rightfully pointed out, that we're always trying to get to the more serious offenses. And the way that we get to those means that sometimes we need cooperation of others as well. Another person says, Cayman better take this thing serious. They may soon come for kids too. You never know. We even need to check out a lot of people who are living in our islands already. We need to get rid of some of these people, without a doubt. So, yes, I got an appointment here that I need to go and deal with. All right. So the person says, yes, sir. McCummon. All right. Hold on. Doorbell ringing. Give me 2 seconds. I'm coming to you. 2 seconds. All right. No problem. All right. Okay. So I got to go. Somebody says, Sandy, there's pirates out there in this area near Africa, and that area they want to take ships hostage. And this vessel is out there from island to island. This makes me think that they're pirates too. Oh, yeah. So the prisoners, this person said, will have an interesting time having some discussions. Well, honey child, now we need to be careful because, they're going to be in prison. Who knows? They might be trying to indoctrinate our prisoners into their foolish thinking, whatever. So be careful northward who you incarcerate them with. I'm just saying. Anywho, y'all have a good weekend. See you next week, probably Tuesday. All right, please be safe.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.